And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and I'm excited. I've got another special guest. That's right, I've had a lot of time on my hands, so I've got somebody. Go ahead and tell the community who you are.
Hi guys, what's going on? My name is McMull2. I am a fellow Galaxy Heroes YouTuber.
Awesome. Yeah, you make quite a bit of content on raids and whatnot. So by the way, if you guys are interested in knowing more about theory crafting on raids, check out McMull's channel. I always leave the description of who I'm dealing with in my description. So go check out his YouTube channel. It'll be pretty awesome. So I, this last week have been on Reddit. I know you've been on Reddit too, and we've seen something that's been on Reddit for a while. And I was planning a video with you a couple of days ago, but we couldn't do the video until this morning. And I spilled the beans on my video idea to my Discord chat, and it kind of went viral in everybody's Discord yesterday morning, didn't it?
Yeah, it kind of did, because I reached out to you and I was like, hey, I see this message. I don't know if this is okay to be spreading around.
Yeah, and then, and of course, it's just my educated guesses. It's not something that's like proprietary, so it was okay that it got shared on everyone's Discord chat. All right, so the thing that kind of got leaked to your channel basically said, it was on my Discord. I had tagged everybody because I wanted to let all of them know about the video idea I was doing. And I said, we should see anywhere from 2 to 4 legendary style events in the last half of the year. This is, you know, from September to like March. These characters are going to be solid ads like Thrawn, BB-8. And I gave them a couple of things they could do. These are going to be things we're talking about in the video. And the first to prepare is farm the characters, the solo characters, the KOTOR characters, and the bounty hunters as they become farmable. And then 2, save Zetas, like stockpile Zetas. And I think that's important. And then I said, I know a lot of people are on target, so they can't do this. It's just more of a heads up or a suggestion because, you know, this is just me theory crafting about, you know, Voss and Django and Malak and those kinds of things. The only downside to me is that was my video idea that I was going to put out sometime this weekend with you, and now a video has been made on it, so I'm gonna have to kind of evolve my video idea because of timing. We weren't able to make it fast enough. That's okay. We're going to evolve this video into a strategy guide because I think that's more important anyway. I want people out there to, when they're hearing about this, like, what are they going to do with this information? I mean, what's the normal community response when they hear about a whole bunch of legendaries coming out?
Right, exactly, yeah. Everybody panic farms and everything.
Yeah, and I mean, it causes stress and some people quit, and we don't want that. We want to come up with a strategy guide that makes complete sense for the community. All right, the first legendary event I believe we will be getting is going to be in February. And the reason why I believe February is because that's always our Sith month. Every year for 2 years, this should make sense to the third year. Darth Malak makes sense because we've got these recent KOTOR characters into the game. And so these 5 characters on the screen right here are what I believe are going to be needed. Now, these are the most recent additions into the game. They're going to take a while to hit the board and become farmable. But the good news is I believe we have a solid 6 months before we see the event for these particular characters, so we should have some time to be able to farm these characters. What are your thoughts on these particular characters being needed for Darth Malak, and what's a strategy that you think would be good for these particular characters?
All right, so yeah, if we're talking the KOTOR characters, you know, with Jolie and Bastilla, Mission, Zalbar, and T3, yeah, we could very likely be seeing them to unlock Darth Malak, and yeah, that makes sense for the Sith month, but if they're going to be used for Revan, I could see that being a little bit sooner. I do think that either way, it's going to be a meta-defining character. Usually the Sith that get introduced in February, or anytime we get a Sith event where we get a bunch of new Sith and one of them's named, that's usually a meta character that we're going to see in there for a while, much like Darth Nihilus, who's still everywhere back in last February, or 2 Februaries ago, and then we had Traya this February with the Sith raid. So I think that any kind of Sith that we get from a KOTOR event is going to be definitely a meta character for quite a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the reason why I put these guys out the farthest out is because they came out the last group of characters, like a bunch of characters. This is the kind of the last bunch. And like I said, I know that the Capital Games is cyclic. What I mean by that is they have a hard time not following a pattern, and humans have an easy way of predicting pattern. We see the pattern, and so it's easy to guess. And the last 2 years with February, and February is the last month of their fiscal year. And so sometimes they want to go out with a bang. Well, you know, I think Revan is a big enough carrot that they're probably going to wait till fiscal 2019, which is March and beyond, to actually bring Malik out, or Darth Revan out. And that kind of makes sense. It would be nice if they brought him out sooner. In fact, I would love for that to be right, but I just kind of believe it will be then. But I do believe we're going to have 4 to 6 months to farm these characters, and they're probably going to hit free-to-play farmable in the next couple of months. So we should have a solid 4 months, I'm hoping, for these characters. So as far as should you focus on these particular characters when they become free-to-play farmable, of course. In fact, if you guys want all of these legendary / heroes journey characters, when they become farmable, you will have to focus on them. Now, I can't strategize on these guys specifically because I don't know where they're going to be free-to-play farmable. Are they all Cantina? Are some of them going into the stores? Are some of them going to be hard nodes? Almost guaranteed you're going to have some hard nodes. So I can't really build a strategy yet, but the good news is this one, in my opinion, Malik is going to be the farthest out, which is going to give you the most amount of time to prepare. So what I'm saying is these are guys you don't have to worry about immediately. This will be your third priority in the list. So let's go ahead and move into the next priority list. All right, now I believe there to be another Hero's Journey or Legendary event coming specifically out of Bounty Hunters. We've had a Bounty Hunter rework, and we've had 3 new additions, and there's still Zam Wessel to be reworked, and I believe that she is going to get a rework because everybody else has been touched except for her. That totally sounded wrong, but we definitely need to get her reworked in the game, and then we need to obviously have some sort of amazing event. And what character would make the most sense for Bounty Hunters? What do you think?
It's got to be Django. Fun fact, if you look up the lore for Zam Wessel, she and Django were actually really good friends back in the day when they worked together. So my idea is that we're going to get Django Fett, and then Zam's going to get synergies with him, much like we have Chase or K2SO and Cassian.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool. And you're right, Django Fett makes total sense. In my private Discord chat, when I kicked out my ideas, that was actually the guy I was talking about for this particular faction. And so the good news is this is the middle farm, right? This is the second event I believe we're getting, and I believe we're getting it in December. The reason why I say that is they like to do these types of events every other month or so, and I could be wrong about that, but I believe every other month we're going to see one. It could be like September and November or October and December. So I'm guessing December because December is a big month, and they really want a big character for that month. And again, I believe that that big character is going to be Django because that is a fan favorite, is constantly being brought up on Reddit and all sorts of places. Now, the good news with this team is this team's already, most of them have already very free to play farmable or have just recently gone free to play, with the exception of Embo and Aura. Those are the 2 newest additions. So with that said, if it was me, I would probably get some of these guys in order. You maybe already have some of these guys in order. The good news is you're probably only going to need to take them to gear 8 is where I would stage them. So that way you have them pretty powerful. And if you have to tick them over to gear 9 for the event, you can, but don't waste the energy or gear. I would keep them at gear 8. And then only 2 you're probably going to have to like farm crazily will be Bosk, Embo, and Aura when they come farmable, wherever they become farmable. I know Bosk is hard node, so if you find that you're not getting him fast enough, you can purchase him in shipment. So what are your thoughts about the Bounty Hunters and events in December, strategies, which characters you think might be relevant to this particular event?
If it's going to be a legendary event for Django, I think that we may probably very well need bounty hunters for it. It would make sense. The only thing that could make sense was like some sort of scoundrel team, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I think that if we're going to be using bounty hunters to unlock Django, it would make sense to have something like with Zam and Bosk. Usually the Clone War bounty hunters are probably going to be required to get him. So Bosk, Zam, Aura, and Embo will probably be required in the team to get him. That would make the most sense.
And so all in all, these guys, you're going to have a few months. Most of them you can already start to plan and prepare for. Only a couple, I think, are going to be stressful for the community as far as getting quickly. I do believe there's another event coming really fast in October, possibly September, but more than likely October. And this is the one I really want to focus on and give a heavy strategy guide on, and that is the very next events. And then we can kind of break down the events as they start to crop up and we can start to know about them. But the first one going to be the solo tunes, and I've got a lot of reasons for that. All right, so what you see on the screen are the 5 solo tunes. We're talking about Kira, L3, Young Lando, Young Han, Vander Chewie, and these guys came out. They were a few steps ago, right? They were before the KOTOR characters release. They were before the Scoundrels release and rework. And so I believe these 5 characters are going to be needed. And I believe the legendary character to be, either Beckett, Dryden Voss, or Darth Maul. At least that's what I had predicted. And of the 3, Beckett to me makes the least amount of sense personally, even though that's possibly who might come in because sometimes logic doesn't play in the fact. And I would love to see fan favorite Darth Maul as that chase character. Having another iteration of Darth Maul would be great. But I think that Dryden Voss he was kind of the, the character that they were all going against and all of that. I think that he's got a pretty good opportunity to be coming into the game in October. And then, of course, you would need these 5 characters for him. I do think he'll be meta-changing, meta-defining. And they've made these characters free-to-play farmable. Now, first off, what's your take? Do you think that there's a possibility of these characters coming in and these characters being utilized for that?
Yeah, there's definitely a legendary coming for them. I mean, the big solo bundle was the first kind of red flag that something was coming, because that's very reminiscent of the Phoenix and when we used them to unlock Thrawn back in the day. So expect some kind of legendary event, and usually legendary events have you fighting against a character that opposes those characters.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dryden Voss makes sense. Maul could make sense for that. I hope it's like a Spider Maul or something. We've been needing that for forever. Like, how awesome would that be if that was Spider Maul?
Oh, that would be awesome. Now, I know in there, I'm pretty sure it was the iteration where after Mother Talzin changes his legs from the spider legs to just the 2 mechanical legs. A lot of people are going, oh my gosh, October? We're almost in September, 6 weeks from now. How in the heck are we going to get these characters? And a couple of things. First off, you're going to have to focus solely on these characters if you want to get the legendary character coming out in October. The good news is 2 of these characters are Cantina farms. Now, I know a lot of people say, I don't like Cantina and there's too many characters in there, but these particular characters are going to be characters that you'll be able to get relative ease. A 10 node and a 12 node, they're not 16 or 20. So you're going to be able to get almost twice as many shards for the same amount of energy because they have the same statistical drop rate. So L3 and Kira, if it was me, I would do L3 first because I feel like she's just a better character all around. But Kira's the lead, so you're going to have the leader for sure. So I would focus on L3 and Kira. And the good news is Young Han Solo's an easy farm, right?
Yeah, he's Guild Store.
Yeah, absolutely. He's Guild Store. You should be able to focus your currency on him and get him up pretty quick. The crux of this team, the hard part of this team, is actually going to come over the next 6 weeks with 2 characters that you can farm simultaneously. One's in the ships, neutral ships node. You can do 5 a day. And one is Vandor is in the hard nodes. And so you've got 2 hard node farms coming out of this particular event. So a couple of things on that. First, if you're in and using if you're watching this, you probably know what my 4-pillar system is. If not, you need to go check that video out. And in my 4-pillar system, I talk about Phoenix first, Empire second, yada, yada, yada through the pillars. If you're in those pillars, you're focused on the other legendary events such as R2, CLS, BB-8, JTR. And if you don't have those characters yet, I'm telling you, don't worry about these next 3 events and don't farm them. Now, if you've completed those other journeys and events and you're looking to focus on these for the next 6 weeks, the big strategy for this is get L3 and Kira out of Cantina. Spend a couple of refreshes a day. Young Han Solo, get him out of the Guild Store as fast as you can. Lando and ships, do a refresh. It's 50 crystals. You get another refresh, and you should get enough free energy a day that you can do 10 times that node and work on it. Now, that 4 to 6 month farm will turn into a 2 to 3 month farm, which isn't enough time to get it done. So Lando and Chewbacca, even with a single refresh and 10 times, we're going to have the possibility of you needing to go into shipments, possibly save crystals or purchase crystals and purchase those 2 individuals out of shipments. And the reason why I'm strategizing those 2 is because those are the 2 that at the end of this event, when you get to that event, you're going to look at your thing and you're going to have everybody developed and ready to go, but those 2.
Yeah, I think the important thing to note is that 2 to 3 farm month time is going to be to get to 7 stars, and usually legendary characters unlock at 5 stars. So it's going to be one of those things where you're probably not going to get it to 7 stars the first time, but you're still going to get at least a 5-star character out of it, because that's going to at least give you the character. You're not going to be able to use it in the raids, but you can still use it in arena. You can still use it in other game modes. So you should be able to get some use out of legendary character. So don't panic thinking that you have to get 7 stars to unlock the character. Keep in mind that legendary characters do unlock at 5 stars.
That is actually a phenomenal point that totally went over my head. I totally forgot about that. You're absolutely right. A 5-star Thrawn works phenomenal in Arena, and he gives you a chance to start gearing that character up to gear 11. So really great input. I really appreciate that, because I actually agree with you. This is definitely the first event in October within the next 6 weeks I believe we're going to get, and how I would tackle this particular team. Once you have this team tackled and it moves to the next event, because this event comes and goes and you have a 5-star or a 6-star, then forget about this team for now and immediately switch your gears. Drop these out of your favorites and put the next ones into favorites, and immediately switch gears to Scoundrels, because you'll have another 6 to 8 weeks to do the same type of thing for the next event. And then the same is true at the very end with Darth Malak in February. So you kind of switch gears with each event. Each event should be ultra rare like other events. And the first time it comes out, normally it takes approximately 4 to 6 months to come back the first time.
I think it's a very good strategy guide. You know, don't panic. Don't feel like you're forced to get these characters. Just take your time. Be smart about it. Don't fall into a panic mode and try to spend your crystals everywhere. Just be smart about it is really my advice.
Absolutely. I agree. I think if you're focused on the solo tunes first until that event and forget about everything else, you'll be fine. And the 2 hard farms, Chewie and Lando, if you focus on them and do a refresh and possibly get a couple extras out of the store. By the way, that pack, I'm not saying everybody should go buy that pack, but if you are or have a propensity to spend a little money in the game consistently, such as a Dolphin or above, a $60 American $60. I think it was like $85 in Canada. It gets kind of expensive at other places, but that pack was actually a relatively good value, 300%. 300% better value than a normal pack, or 3 times better than a normal pack, because there was well over 300 shards of, 55 shards of every single character and other stuff in there. So if you need that boost to get to the 5 stars, you can get your legendary at 5-star. That one pack would probably do it for you right there. So consider $60 might be the thing you have to pay to get the character. And what's cool about legendary, if you remember, how much does it cost to activate and get to your star level with these characters?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but usually they give you the gold in the events to star and level them up.
Yep, exactly. It's not going to cost you guys anything. All you'll have to worry about once you get the character is gearing them up and using them. So pretty cool. I hope the strategy guide helps everybody out there kind of bring their stress down, hyper focus on who's most important for the next event. We'll continue in the future to talk about the next events as they come and as we get to know more. Again, all of this is speculation, but I do want you guys to be armed with a strategy on how you're going to tackle these characters so you can get the most out of what's coming in the future. McMole, thanks for coming on my channel. I really appreciate it.
Hey, man. No problem. Thanks for inviting me along. This was fun. We need to do this more often.
If you think my speculation's way off, leave them in the comments down below. And as always,
keep gaming on.
Wonderful. As always, keep gaming on. Warrior, out.